Hello, my dear students, and welcome back. This is Yo-Yo's Cantonese learning channel for elementary learners. All right, today's topic is Cantonese tones. So how to practice Cantonese tones if you don't have a tutor and if you're learning by yourself? Okay, so today we're gonna give you some tips and some method. All right, so as we knew, Cantonese has 6 tones. All right, and now I'm gonna put them into 2 groups. The first group, we call them high tones, and it has tone 1, 2, and 5 in it. And the other one is low group. So we have low tones, tone 3, 4, and 6 in it. Okay, so before I'm gonna say, I have to pick tone 1 and tone 6 from each of the group, because if you know tone 1 and tone 6, then you will have comparison between high and low tones. So later on, you will find it easier to find the correct point, okay? So tone 1 is the highest tone among all the other tones, okay? So no matter how high and how low your voice or your pitch is, you have to remember tone 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, any of them could not be higher than the first tone, okay? So tone 1 is here and the others are here. And tone 6, we call it one of the low tones just because it sounds very much like the unstressed syllables in our multisyllable English words. So for example, let's take this word listen as the example. So it has 2 syllables, right? First syllable is li and the second syllable is sin. So in English, we have stressed and unstressed syllables. Stressed syllables, usually they sound louder, and another very important signature is that they are relatively higher in pitch compared to the unstressed ones. So for example, listen, right? You will definitely know li is stressed and sin is not stressed. So tone 1 just sound like the stressed syllables in English word, and tone 6 just sound like our unstressed syllables in our multisyllable English words. So listen, we can say li is tone 1 and sin is tone 6. Okay, so now you already have the idea. High tone, first tone is the highest, so li, e, like the stressed syllable in English, and sin. Tone 6 is unstressed syllables in English. All right, so let's just take listen as the practice method. And now I have some words, and all of these words has 2 characters only, and one of the characters is tone 1, and the other one is tone 6. Okay, so let's practice. 第一個 number 1, listen, right? So use listen, the tone in this word. 多謝 嚟多一次 one more time. 多謝 第二個 second one, 科學 繼續 continue. 邊度 okay, another 的士 okay, so tone 1 plus tone 6 are like listen. If you know this, then you won't have problems with 1 and 6 tone. Okay, so let's just continue. Here we have another 3. And this time, it's not first tone plus 6 tone, but it's 6 tone plus the first tone. So it's not but It sounds like in English, okay? 第一個 first one, 學生 very easy, right? 繼續 continue. 後生 第三個 third one, 幸福 Okay, ho, very good. Now, if you know tone 1 and tone 6, now let's move on to the other two tones in our high group, okay? The other two high tones are tone 2 and 5. These two are both rising tones in Cantonese. Rising tones, what does that mean? Okay, it means that the beginning sound is relatively lower than the ending sound. So it just sounds like a questioning tone in English, like what, okay, where, and how, why, something like that. Okay, so it's just yeah, if you do it slowly, you will see that the beginning point is lower and the ending point is higher. Like what, okay? And why do we have two rising tones? Well, tone 2 is relatively higher in pitch compared to our tone 5. So tone 2 is and tone 5 is So when you're listening to Cantonese conversations, or if you're listening to what local people are saying, well, you don't have to pay attention to the tone markers. You just need to know both of them are rising tones. And if you ask local people whether it's tone 2 or tone 5, they would not care that much because they are very similar to each other, even if two are relatively higher in pitch compared to the fifth tone. But when it comes to the speaking, people just forget about the tones. So these two are basically the same when it comes to listening, okay? You don't have to be too precise because you're not a machine. And as long as your tones are rising, then 2 and 5 are both okay. All right, so let's just practice. 第一個, first one, 2 plus 2, rising, rising, so that's what, right? 好好, 好好. First 好 is very, second 好 is good, very good, 好好. And now we have 5 and 2, but basically you can just say they're the same sound. They're both rising. What? 你好. 你好. Continue. Okay. 2 and 2. What? 飲水. 飲水. Another 2 plus 2. 飲酒. 飲酒. All right, now let's review a bit. Tone 2 and tone 5 are like questioning tones in English, like what. And tone 1 is like stressed syllable, and tone 6 are like unstressed syllable. So you can just take listen as the example for tone 1 and 6. Now, okay, let's mix rising tones 2 and 5 together with high tone, first tone, and low tone 6. See, you try first. Okay, so it's 2 and 1, right? What is for 2 and listen. Li is for first tone. What li, okay? 好多, 好多. Second one, similar, 2 and 1. 打波, 打波. The second character, 波, comes from English. So 打波 means play ball games, like play basketball or play baseball, something like that, because it's very natural for Hong Kong people to switch between English and Cantonese. So 波, we just borrowed the word from English directly. Now we have 2 and 6, so it's rising and low tone, right? So it's what, okay? 好耐, 好耐. Next one is similar. What, right? 好攰, 好攰. One more. 保護, 保護. Continue. 6 and 5. So it's low first, and rising the second. What, what. 食嘢食嘢 One more 日本日本 Okay, now we studied first tone and 2 and 5 and 6. Now we only have 3 and 4 remain. So 3 and 4 are from our low group, right? Together with tone 6, they're called the low tone group. But you have to know that 3, 4, and 6, they are very, very close to each other. What does that mean? So if you ask a local people to produce certain sounds, they can do it correctly and standardly, very easily. But if you ask them to mark the tones, especially 3, 4, and 6, they might not be able to do it precisely. Because tone 3, 4, and 6, they're very similar to each other, and this sounds really, really close to each other. So here is the tip. You just need to remember 2 things. One is that, as we said, first tone are the highest, tone 6 are low, and tone 3 are in the middle. If you can't find the middle sound, you can just use do, re, mi, fa, sol as the example. Okay, so if number 1, our first tone is do, re, mi, fa, sol, sol is the highest, and our 6th tone is relatively lower. It's do, re, re, and tone 3 is in the middle. Mi, okay, re, mi, sol. These are for 6, 3, and 1. So just remember, tone 3 is between tone 1 and tone 6. And compared to the 4th tone, tone 4 and tone 6, you can basically treat them as the same sound, like our tone 2 and 5. Because if you're hearing local people saying, they sometimes forget about the tones, okay? So they forget about the differences between tone 2 and 5. They also forget about the differences between tone 4 and 6. If you're not broadcasting, it doesn't matter. So some people might ask me, hey, if I treat them as the similar sound, will people get confused? No, because first, you seldom see tone 3, 4, and 6 are together. Usually they are separated, and in between you have tone 1, 2, and 5. So people will not get confused. And second is that we're human beings as language speakers. We're not robots, so we don't understand the whole conversation character by character. We understand the conversation by speaker's intention, and also by speaker's context, and of course by our body gestures and our facial expression, and maybe our environment. So we're not machine, we're not robots. So as long as your sentences are complete and grammatically correct, and your sentences are longer enough, so people would always understand you. So tips: first tone highest, and 2 and 5, they're both rising tone, like questioning in English. And tone 6 and tone 4, they're unstressed syllables in English. And tone 3 are just in the middle. Okay, so tone 3 should not go higher than the first tone and should not be lower than tone 4 or 6. Now let's just put them together. So from 1 to 6, and let's see some words. So this one is rising and the middle sound. Okay, so it's okay, so it's not is rising and the highest, but it's rising and middle sound. 美國 Okay, and here is first and 3. So it's first tone and lower tone, or you can say middle tone. But if you don't have tone 6 here, you can also treat tone 3 as the unstressed syllable, because first one is always the highest, and others are relatively lower than it. So you can also use listen as the method. Okay, listen. 出去 Alright, and now we have 3 and 6. Remember, 3 and 6, 3 is higher, 6 is lower. So you can also use listen as the method, because there is no tone 1, right? 聽日，聽日。Okay, tone 1 and 4, you can just say tone 1 and 6. So we can use listen again. Listen, listen. 開門，開門。Easy, right? Okay, and one more, 1 and 4. 機場，機場。Okay, and now let's switch. It's not 1 and 4, but it's 4 and 1. So it's low tone and the highest tone. So we can just use right? 唔該，唔該。One more, 4 and 1. 寧興，寧興。Okay, 4 and 2, so it's rising. What? What? 唔想，唔想。Okay, now we have some words with more than 2 characters, so it's more challenging. Now, the first one is first 2 and 4, so it's high, rising, and low. Okay, high, li, rising, what? Low, sin, sin. Okay, 香港人，香港人。Okay, let's do it again. 香呢港 is what, and then 神人人，香港人。Okay, very good. Continue. First 4 and 6. Okay, 4 and 6, you can just say they're similar or equal sound. Okay, 加拿大，加拿大。繼續 continue. 2, 1 and 6, rising, highest, and then low tone. What? Listen. What? Listen. Okay. 廣東話，廣東話。Okay, 2 more. 1, 1 and 4. So it's listen, listen, listen. Okay. 西班牙，西班牙。Last one for today. 4 characters. Rising, rising, high and low. So it's what, listen. Okay. 你喺邊度？你喺邊度？ Okay, that's all I want to share to you guys today, and I hope you watched this video till the very end. If you still have questions, you can just visit our website and then book our one-on-one tutoring lessons. I'll be right here waiting for you. Alright, and check our Instagram for our flashcards and our newest videos. Okay, thank you so much for your watching and subscribing, so see you next time.